Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Yeah, we got the road traffic noise in the background. Hold on. Turn both of them lights on. Alright. I just did a little nighttime video for you over here. It wasn't a very good one, but it's what I could get. So I posted it. It's either that or nothing on that part. Because come morning, Papa Joe's going to be hauling butt toward the house. So that's all there is to it. I got one delivery to make in the morning. It's 114 miles away. Then 50 miles or so to the house. Whew. I'm out of breath. I done ate a big old meal. Got my sandals on. I've been wearing tennis shoes all day. For me, that's highly unusual. For my Canadian feller, dude, you didn't hurt nobody's feelings commenting on the difference in up there and here. I used to haul up there to Canada all the time. Calgary and Saskatoon were my main drops. Y'all do a lot of boats. I can tell you that. You do a lot of boats. And I've hauled my share in there. And yeah, I noticed that in a lot of the provinces up there that y'all sure like them safety clothes. I mean, it was ridiculous. It seemed like if you worked outside at all, you had to wear them. And it wasn't just in the trucking industry. So, yeah. And they was in what few truck stops that had stores, they was all up in there. We don't have to do that down here. Now, some of the places that we work or go into, you know, the people that work there wear them. And that's why I carry my little BS safety vest and a hard hat and some glasses. That's why I carry some shoes. I do have some boots over here in the side box. They're not steel toes. But a lot of places require closed toes. And the one I went to deliver this morning, no sandals. It's got to be closed toes. You got to wear your high visibility vest and a hard hat. So I carry them around because I don't like wearing other people's stuff. And yes, there are some places down here that if you don't have it, they won't accept the load or let you load. That's not very common, but it does happen. Just differences in your country and ours. That's like up there in your country, in Canada, hazmat vehicles only have to stop at non-gated railroad crossings. So if they've got a gate, an arm, they can go right on through if the arm's not down. Down here, regardless whether it, and if it doesn't have an arm up there, they have to stop. Down here, regardless whether it has an arm or not, our hazmat has to stop. School buses do too. So it's just minor differences, which can get you in trouble if you don't stay up to date. My biggest problem was our bridges down here or in standard, regular math. Up there they're in meters and metrics. And I would have to do the math to figure out and remember what height I needed for my vehicles. So luckily that never bit me in the butt. And I can tell you now, there's no need in asking at the damn border crossing. They ain't gonna tell you. So it is what it is. I do want to cover some comments from this morning. Quite a few comments on the getting set up deal. Let me go to it. The right setup is what I'm talking about. 25 comments, but some of them are mine. Let's see. Timothy, I understand you're trying to get back into trucking, bro. I understand you're nervous. You got the old butterfly thing going on. Chances are, if you drove for any length of time, and it sounds like you did, yeah, you're going to be nervous about getting back up in a big truck. But I can already tell you, they ain't changed that damn much. And once you get in there and you start grinding gears and taking off, it's going to come flooding back. You'll be alright. Where you was asking about if anybody would notice a good straight driver and give you a chance is what I assumed you was getting at. In this day and age, not really. Get your CDLs back, and honestly, the best thing to do is try to find a small company and get on with them. If you can't find one that would take you on, which is very likely you won't find one because the insurance rules the industry. And if you've been out for any length of time, like over 5 years, chances are you're going to have to go with one of the mega companies, one of the big boys, to get the experience under your belt. And what's going to bite you in the ass is that they're going to want to put you with a trainer that you probably are going to have kids older than him, and they're nothing but a propaganda mouthpiece for the company, telling you how great the company is. You're liable to have to bite the bullet and go through all that pain just to get a couple years experience under your belt again. Because if you've been gone for a while, they're going to consider you as no experience. That's just being honest with you. Sound like you was toying with the idea of hot shotting. It's going to depend upon what you do on if they're going to consider that experience. This is only my opinion. I don't know. I'm only a truck driver. I did the hot shotting, but I had my own trailer and I was hauling real cargo. And I wasn't out of the big truck that long, maybe a year. So it didn't hurt me. So I can't tell you if they really claim that as experience or not. But if you're going to just haul them travel trailers like my buddy's going to do, I don't know if they'll call that as OTR experience or not. I kind of doubt it, but once again, I'm only a truck driver. I don't know. I am going to try to set it up maybe next week to have a phone interview with the, I think he's the owner of a hotshot company that moves them trailers. I'm going to see if I can get that set up where we can talk. And I'll ask him some questions. If you guys got any questions, post them in the comments on this video, and I'll try to write them down and ask him. No promises. We'll see what kind of questions you come up with and if he'll even do the interview. Let's see. William Bennett, you're talking after 27 years in a big truck, you've been considering it. Do your homework, brother. The biggest challenge that I've seen my friend going through is getting a decent price on a truck that's really rigged up for it. Now, he got lucky. He had been searching the internet for a few weeks, 2 or 3, and he was considering buying a new one and building it up. And he was looking at a Mopar, a 1-ton. Time he got done doing all the bells and whistles that he wanted, you know, a Jake brake, the tow package, the extra cooler, and you know, to keep the radiator, whatever they call it, the pulling deal. And they had a name for it, for the big pickups. The double batteries, stuff like this that you really need. And he had been doing his homework. He had talked to drivers out here that was doing it. And then he started calling and talking to some of the companies that he might lease on with, and picking their brain and asking what kind of equipment they preferred and what they would recommend and what had been working. He did some homework. So by the time he put all that into one package to buy a new truck, he was looking at $75,000. Now, I ain't sure if that was a 1-ton or a 2-ton, but I think it was a 2-ton. $75,000, that's half the cost of one of these big rascals. So, you can tie some money up real quick. With that being said, he got looking for used trucks, and it took a little bit, but he finally got a hell of a deal on one. Low mileage, real low mileage, diesel, with damn near everything he wanted, and he picked it up for $34,000 out the door. There's still stuff he's having to do to it, so he's gonna put another $7,000 into it. So you're still looking at over $40,000, and he ain't even pulled his first load yet. He ain't even leased on with a company. Another big thing that's going to get in there is the cost of insurance. He got lucky once again on the insurance because the company he's thinking about going with, they cover a whole bunch of that insurance, and they told him what he had to have, and it wasn't a whole lot because they had the freight insurance and all that covered real good. He debated on whether he was going to get his own authorities or operate under theirs. The ones he's talking to, he's going to operate under their authorities. So he will get his truck tagged out of Texas, and paying all the taxes and stuff and getting it legal. He ain't missing $3,000 by much. Then with him talking to them, they are going to, you picked to hit that pole hard. Nope, you didn't. You've done that before. He can go looking for his own backhauls. They do have a system where they try to find you backhauls. You know, where you haul a camping trailer out wherever you're going, then they try to find you some kind of a trailer or something to haul back. They don't have a problem with you looking for your own. Now, if you do find one, then you have to contact them because you're operating under their authorities. And they send all the information they need to the whoever you're hauling the load for, and they still get their cut. It's only fair. You're operating under their authorities. So that's saving him a lot of hassle. It doesn't really cost that much to get your own authorities and get set up for it. It really don't. But it is a lot of work and a lot of hassle. And he's chosen at this time to not do that. He's going to operate under theirs, get his feet wet, and see if it's really something he likes. Like he said, if it's something that doesn't work out for him, worst case scenario is he's got a damn fine pickup to drive around that he can move anything he wants with it. That's how you got to look at it. The payments that he's taken on it are payments that he can make regardless. It's nothing like the payments on a big truck, or none of that. So that's something you might want to think about if you're thinking about getting into it. Is make sure whatever you're buying, you can still afford it. You can take them commercial tags off. You have to register it as a commercial vehicle and all that. Under 23,000 pounds for the, you know. But if it doesn't work for you, you can go down and change everything, and then it's just like a regular pickup, and it ain't so costly. So a lot of homework to it. Now when I was out there, it seemed like I was getting DOT'd all the time. And I asked one up in Iowa, I think I was at, I said, do I have a target on my back? He just started laughing and he said, well, kind of, sort of, because you're a hotshot. He said, so many of the hotshot operators, he says, they've just come out here from off the street and they don't have a clue what it takes to be legal. He says, and we're catching them all the time where they are just so illegal. He says, you're one of the few that actually has everything that you have to have. I did my homework. In this day and age with computers and all that, it's fairly easy to figure out what you need out here. It gets confusing, but it's still the information is freely at hand. But then pick up the phone or take a little drive, because you pick up the phone, a lot of times you get that automated system that I hate. So you can pick some brains. If you're really serious about it, look up some companies that do what you want to do that leases on drivers and call and pick their brains. And they can help you, and you might have to call a few. But that can help you to get your list together on what you have to do to go do it. Worst thing you can do is like hollow points, friend. Sold his big truck, started hauling them, got busted. You know, he got over in Dallas and DOT stopped him and said, oh hell no, you ain't even close to being legal. So now his truck's up for sale. If you got some money, leave a message for Hollow Point. He might put you in contact with his friend that's got that real nice pickup that he's not using. And that was a case of not doing his homework. And he could still fix the issue. He don't have to sell that truck. He could still fix the issue if he wants to work for the other guy. Even if he don't want to work for the other guy. If he owned his own big truck before and had his own authorities, that's all he needs. Now just make sure you get the paperwork right for your pickup and get your ass to work, get busy. Let's see. Matter of fact, I just scrolled across it where he was talking about that. Let's see what he actually said so you can hear it. My buddy sold his big truck and bought a fancy 1-ton to pull campers with. He thought he could run with no ELD or commercial insurance until he got to Dallas and one of those nice DOT officers informed him that he was completely wrong. LOL. Now his 1 ton is for sale. That was something that me and my friend had discussed on running logs and all that. But my dad had did this when he retired out of a big truck. Now we're going back a few years. Before ELDs. Way before ELDs. And I told him the deal my dad had with whoever he was leased with, and I don't know who it was. They were on company time running out to haul the camper out. So they had to run a logbook. They were on their own coming back. And Dad would go and visit all the places we couldn't get into in a big truck. He didn't have to run a log. Logs and trucking has changed since Dad did it. The company he's been talking to, yes, you run a log out, and if you're coming back to them, you run a log back to their yard. There's very few excuses to not run a log, he has found out. But like I told him, to me it's real simple. You run out, and he's wanting to run west. So you run out to the west, and you burn up your 30 hours or whatever getting out west, maybe more, maybe less, whatever. Let's say 30 hours. So now you're on the west coast, instead of just turning around and hurrying back to Indiana, because that's where the majority of these trailers come out of, it seems. And now you get back there, and now you're almost out of hours, so you got to take a 34. Really? I don't see doing it that way. I told him, I said, what I would do is I would run out west. I would get out there, and I would give it at least 2 days trying to find a load, a backhaul, something to take back. And even if he doesn't find anything, he got his 34 in out west. Now when he deadheads back and grabs the trailer, at least he has enough time to go back out. Now I told him I would be taking my 34s on my empty end. I see no reason to run out, turn around, run back to where I know I have a load, and now I've got to sit here and twiddle my thumbs and wait on a 34. That makes no sense to me. If you have to twiddle your thumbs, twiddle them out there where you don't have a load trying to get one, instead of sitting here where there's a load waiting on you. That's just Papa Joe logic. Let's go on with the questions here. Or the comments, my bad. Let's see. Here they're asking me what his age was. He was like, he's 61 now, and he started a little over 3 years ago. So basically he was 58. Say he was 57. So he came out here and he's done this for 3 years, and now he's just looking for something a little bit different. Let's see here. Zach, he passed the CDL permit test, and he's heading to Tennessee for school. Congratulations, young man. Keep me updated. Let's see. Here's another comment from Timothy. Said he's going to try to run it. The hot shot by his wife. He said first thing she's going to ask is, where are we going to sleep? Well, during my friend's homework and research and all this, there is a kit that will make a bed out of your back seat. They take your back seat out. They take the panels off of your door. They cut the bracing that's in there that holds the door there on the, and evidently they bend it and push it inward some and re-weld it. Your windows will not work after this. The door's still open and closed. And evidently you keep the pieces, and they say that it's very easy to redo the doors and make everything back to normal. But they do this, and they put a special bed kit in there, take your back seat out, and now you have a bed back there. Now, my understanding, to make it completely legal, you need to take out the passenger seat up front so that you have access to it. I didn't have that stuff done to mine. I had to get out of this door, walk around, because I had my head back here, and I had to get in that door over there. It was a pain in the ass when it was cold or raining or anything like that. So I kind of like this idea. Evidently it's around $3 grand. Now you go doing it, you got to figure out a place to store your back seat and whatnot, and store these pieces, parts that are coming out. As if you ever go to sell your truck, you want to sell them pieces with it. So there is a method of putting a bunk in the back of a crew cab. Let's see. And that's pretty much all the questions, or all the comments. They technically weren't questions. So there's a lot of homework to it, a lot to figure out, and I didn't even cover nowhere near all of it. But to do the job right, you got to just start making a list of stuff you got to figure out. What kind of insurance do you need? You know? What kind of plates, tags, commercial? What state are you going to register the truck in? What do they require? What's the cost of it? Start calling around some of the companies that you might lease on with. Don't think for a minute that you are going to just buy you a 1-ton truck and run around to some of these RV manufacturers and they just let you start hauling trucks or their campers when you ain't got no proof of who you are or what you are. So you'll wind up leasing on with someone to get any steady work. Another way, you might get one or two, but I got a feeling the backhauls are going to be a rarity, supply and demand, and I imagine there's a whole lot of other U's out there trying to get that backhaul. So, alright folks, I'm shot out, fixing to call Grandma. I gotta get up early in the morning, 114 miles, so let's call it 2 hours to my first drop, and then it's gonna be about an hour to get home to smack Grandma around. She's been getting sassy this week, so I got a surprise for her I'm bringing home. I'm gonna nail her. She'll find out who's the boss, because I'll say, yes ma'am, you the boss. Folks, remember, God loves you, so do I. Don't make any rash decisions on this hotshot stuff. It's not going to be as easy or cheap as you think, which is something else. If you go to do something like this, you better have the wallet for breakdowns and for problems out there. Do not think that you're going to lease on with a company and have a breakdown and that company's going to just bail you out. They might one time of a minor breakdown. Their biggest concern is going to be securing that trailer, making sure that trailer's okay, taking care of their name and their business. they're going to figure you as an independent operator, and they're going to leave you to figuring out your own means. So make sure you have some kind of plan for if you break down. That's the big one that everybody keeps forgetting about. They think they just need this, that, and the other, and they don't think about getting out of here and breaking down and what am I going to do. And they'll rape you out here. There is no mercy on the side of the road with service vehicles. You're going to have a big bill. Not trying to scare you, just trying to put you on the right path and on the right mental path. A lot of stuff you got to think about. Y'all have a good evening now. Good night.